be thinking about what's going to happen in a couple of years when he needs to get married and take over the farm.
Yeah, you should be a little more careful with that then.
What kind of things does Hindley do to Heathcliff?
Beats him.
He beats him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He beats him up, he hits him with spikes and sticks, and he threatens him. Does Heathcliff retaliate, get angry, cry, turn him in, tattle on him? Why not? Because he's a gypsy. Is that going to be the reason for everything he does?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He's a gypsy, so maybe in theory he was brought up to be tough. It's part of his masculinity to not cry or retaliate or go whining back to his father. Maybe he doesn't want to seem weak.
Brothers do.
Huh?
That's what brothers do.
I'm not a brother, so I don't know what brothers do. Would that be normal behavior for brothers to not turn each other in, but just sort of deal with it and get back at each other?
Well, my brother always.
We're talking about steps and water than that.
Actually,
I like push him and he's like, Mommy.
You push your brother?
Yeah.
You're more than 10 years older than him.
And when he tattles to your mother, what's your mother's reaction?
I'm like, Mom, he's lying.
And does she believe you or him?
I mean, sometimes she believes him, sometimes she believes me.
My brother's horrible. How old is he? 3? Is there 12 years older?
That's
No,
not,
I like,
dude, that's not even
I'm
cool.
watching TV.
When I beat my
I
brother,
want cartoons.
my brother's like
And he goes, he's
3 years
like,
younger.
Mom, Jack's not sharing.
Yeah, share.
But instead of turning him in and being a tattletale of his brother, what does Heathcliff do to get back at Hindley?
Black.
He doesn't beat him back. He blackmails him. So what does that tell you about Heathcliff's character?
He's smart.
He's smart.
See,
He knows how to manipulate situations to work out in his favor without getting other people involved.
Because he's a gypsy.
Because he's a gypsy. He's wily and tricky like that.
Yeah.
And so the example that one of you guys mentioned at the beginning was this deal with the horse. They get 2 horses, and they get to pick which ones they want. Heathcliff picks the pretty one, but then it like breaks its leg, and he's really sad. So he says, "I'll trade you my horse for yours, and if you don't, I'll tell Dad that you beat me." And Hindley's reaction is what?
Okay.
throwing a metal rod at him.
Yeah, he throws like a cannonball, metal like giant thing at him, almost breaks his rib cage, and is finally like, "Fine, I'll trade horses with you. Don't tell Dad I beat you up." Why do you think Hindley is so afraid of the father knowing that he...
Because he'll get the crap beat out of him too.
Okay, he could get the crap beat out of him. What if we follow the theory that Heathcliff is the love child? Why might he not want his father to know that he...
Because his father might leave all his stuff to keep.
Okay. Then inheritance can change, and the Heathcliff might inherit the whole house and the whole thing. Another thing is that there's a little bit of evidence that the father tends to favor Heathcliff. The fact that he would even give him a horse and let him stay in the house is gonna let us know that he has at least either it's the love child and he savors this result of his relationship with said gypsy woman in Liverpool, or that he just feels enough emotion towards the kid that he's going to make sure he's provided for. Okay. Let's back up a little bit and talk about the night that Lockwood spends at Wuthering Heights.
That was the most confusing part.
Yeah, because it's a little confusing and it's very, very bizarre. So he's gonna spend the night because there's a horrible blinding snowstorm outside and he can't see to walk the 4 miles back to the Grange. So he's going to spend the night. They don't really want to let him spend the night because they're not really nice like that. But eventually, Zyla lets him stay in the guest room upstairs.
It's haunted.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's a little unusual about this guest room that's upstairs?
It's haunted.
It's haunted. And who did it used to belong to?
Catherine.
Catherine. Which Catherine?
Linton.
Earnshaw.
Yeah.
Then who's Catherine Linton?
You just
Okay.
made it up.
This is where things are going to get confusing.
Catherine.
Why are there so many
Catherine Heathcliff.
There's really only two.
I think they're all one person.
There's two.
Mrs. Heathcliff.
Right.
No, they're all.
Okay.
Why does she insist on making our lives complicated?
Catherine Earnshaw and Catherine Linton are the same.
Catherine Earnshaw and Catherine Linton are the same person.
Yeah, I'm with Jack.
Okay?
Oh, they are?
Yes.
What? It's true?
Okay. Because when Catherine Earnshaw gets married, her last name changes to Linton. So Catherine Earnshaw and Catherine Linton are the same person. Yes. Yes. Okay? These two, or this one with two names, is not the same person as Catherine Heathcliff. Okay? Okay. So, he goes and he's going to spend the night in this room, and as he's lying in bed looking out the window, he first notices that there's three names scratched into the paint. Catherine Earnshaw, Catherine Linton, Catherine Heathcliff. Catherine Earnshaw and Catherine Linton are the same person. Catherine Heathcliff would be her niece. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Or niece-in-law, whatever, still niece. Okay, so as he's sitting there with his candle, he notices that his candle accidentally starts to catch this book on fire. So he's like, well, maybe I should not catch the books on fire. Maybe I should read the books. And it turns out that the book is Catherine's diary. Or it's a book that she had and she took notes in it so that it becomes like a diary. All right, so what do we learn about her from the little diary entries?
She's crazy.
She's crazy? What kind of things?
They went to church a lot.
Okay, so we know they went to church a lot. And Heathcliff and Hindley are also mentioned in this diary. What is Catherine's relationship like with Heathcliff? Is it the same as Hindley? Or do they hate each other and fight and are mean and cruel and beat each other up?
No, I think
Like
they,
each other?
I don't think Catherine was Hindley.
Catherine and Hindley?
Yeah.
Not so much?
Yeah.
They're okay till Heathcliff shows up,
Okay.
and then he sort of screws things up. Catherine and Heathcliff, being about the same age, get along very well almost at the beginning. The first night, everyone's a little cranky and they make him sleep on the steps. But after that, Catherine and Heathcliff become very, very close. All right, and you only see a very little bit of them in this journal entry, but they seem to be scheming together. They have this sort of playful relationship. And we don't know how old she is when she writes this, other than it's written in a childish hand. So we're not exactly sure when this journal dates from. Also in the book, he talks about this sermon that this Jabes guy, Jabes Branderham, he gave this sermon about 77 times 7. Now, do we have any, I don't know, you wouldn't necessarily have to be a good Catholic to know this, but
Yeah.
does anybody know the biblical story that the 70 times 7 comes from?
I heard it before. We heard it last year.
That could explain it. Do you know the...
Actually, not.
You're a
Yeah,
horrible.
I've heard of it, but
You're bad Catholic.
Isn't it you don't learn?
I